Hey guys, how you doing? Gavin Timms with REI Network. Welcome back for another episode. Today is a special day, for me anyway, maybe not for you guys. It's my birthday. When I'm recording this, it is my birthday. So I only have one wish for you guys today, which is give me a like and subscribe. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're on the podcast, make sure you subscribe. I would appreciate it. So that's the only thing that I ask. Okay, hopefully everyone can do that that's listening. So today I want to talk about follow-up. All right, probably one of the most important things in the business. I'd like to say it's the most important thing in the business, but we have to get the other things right, okay, before we get to this point. All right, so meaning that we need leads coming in, we need to have had conversations, we need to have made offers, and then everything comes down to follow-up, right? The four things in this business: marketing, talking to sellers, making offers, and follow-up. All right, so we have to get the first three in place, and then the fourth one kicks in, and then it becomes the most important. And I get this question all the time: well, when should I follow up? How should I follow up? And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try and keep it very simple, but while still having a discussion on the thought process. Okay, so if we jump around a little bit, hopefully I'm going to try and make sense of this. All right, just before we actually dive into this, if you haven't gone already, go and visit the I Need Systems page. All right, we've done a select few investors where we've set it up. We've had a great success this week, and we're thinking about doing a couple more. So if you want to go and check that page out, I Need Systems. This is not coaching, okay? This is not courses. This is actually me working with you one-to-one on setting everything up, from hiring VAs, setting cold calling, texting, CRMs, whatever it is that you need. Let's have a discussion. So if that's something that you need, this is kind of a one-off thing over the holidays that we're doing. And it's, again, we've done a few people. It's gone really well. So we might take a few more on. So if you're interested, go to ineedsystems.com and check that out. Anyway, right, let's get back into follow-up. So the way that I think about follow-up and the sequence of this is pretty much: we start to market. Let's say we're going to, as a new investor or going into a new market. Let's talk about that first. So I'm brand new, or I'm going into a new market, whether I'm experienced. It's something new. It's new leads. There's not tons of leads. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. So we take that and go, okay, we're going to have 5 conversations a day. We're going to make 3 offers a day. Okay, for 5 days a week. We could have 15 people, let's say, to follow up with after week 1, and then so on. So after 30 days, I would recommend that you follow up with all of your leads, if you are new, every 30 days. And the way that I would do that is 3 to 4 ways. And it's all about creating habits. So keep it simple. I'm going to follow up every 30 days. So what that means is, if we've got 5 sellers a day coming in and you're making 3 offers a day, in 30 days time, you're still going to be having 5 sellers to talk to, plus 3 follow-up leads from 30 days ago, right? And then 3 more every day. So your follow-up would be about, on average, 3 a day on the follow-up, okay? So that's how I'm kind of calculating this. The reason I've picked 30 days is because it's enough time to do a follow-up, okay? And the way that you should do that is probably the 3 different ways of hitting them. I would call them first. If they don't answer, I would then send them a text message. If they do not respond, I would send them an email. You could probably actually go ahead, call, don't answer, send a text, and then directly send an email. And in the email, you could say, hey, I did reach out, via text and phone, but I wanted to shoot you a quick email, just, checking in about 123 Main Street to see if it was still available. Whatever it is that you want to do. All right. So this is what we call kind of a manual thing to start with, because we're creating the habit of doing it. And this would be to maybe a cold lead that we're doing 30 days. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that if you get a warm or hot lead that you're going to be following up in 30 days. Absolutely not. That doesn't make any sense. So a lot of this is common sense. I'm trying to give you a simple formula. So if you're new, okay, you don't have many leads, it's a new market, okay, let's say you've got under 100 leads on follow-up, you should be able to manage that. Every 30 days you hit them leads, right? That is going to be the goal. Anything then that's a hot or warm lead, you deal with accordingly. Same day, next day follow up. Again, always using the sequence of a phone call, they didn't answer, send a text directly followed by an email. That could be what you need to do. If they don't answer, you're probably thinking, okay, well, we did that and I only spoke to 1 out of 3, then try the next one today. Don't push them off for another 30 days. Take them to the next day or within the next 2 days. That's what I would do. All right. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, what about the automation? What about the CRM that can send these things for us? I talked about in previous episodes about systems, the importance of systems, the importance of getting things set up correctly so the automation will work. You cannot automate something, right, and delegate something that doesn't work. So if you understand what the automation is doing, if you understand what's being triggered and what's being sent out in the message, what like, is it 30 days, every 45 days an email, 60 days another text, whatever that automation is, then you can build that in. But what I would do is get you creating habits to do it manually. Okay, at least do probably 60 days, right? So we got 30 days of fresh new stuff. After then the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to manually do follow-up to create a habit. And then you can start then saying, okay, I get this, I understand what's happening. And then we can start adding automation in. So some of your cold follow-up only, that's what I recommend, will be done for you. So not warm and hot. Warm and hot should always be a manual process by you, a VA, someone in your team, and then let the system do the job on the cold, right? That's where you're probably heading in terms of an advanced stuff. Now, let's talk about that you actually get, now you've been cranking the business for 6 months, we've got a lot of leads, and you're like, there's no way that I can keep up with this follow-up at this capacity, right? So there's a couple of things then that we need to do. We potentially need to hire someone. We need to hire a VA maybe to help us do the follow-up. We have that. I have a dedicated VA that will call every single seller and just rewarm them up. So they look at the notes, because we always take good notes, right, for follow-up for this purpose. So back to when we have conversations with the seller, we make our offer, we take good notes, because that's what we're going to lead from when we get back on the phone. So that's really, really important, okay? So the VA picks it up. Let's say one of my VAs, LJ. LJ will call, and he will then try and rewarm that lead up for me and then bring it back into acquisition. So that whether that's me, my acquisition, one of my business partners, or potentially you listening, it could be you, right, in your business. So he would rewarm it up. As soon as they engage and they're interested, the call then goes, okay, no problem. Let me get Gavin back on the phone. I know we're still interested in buying this area. And then he will connect us back together again. So that would be an automation that we've put in, even though it's still a manual one, but we're using VAs to do that. So and when I'm talking now, obviously months down the line of follow-up, they're not on the 30-day follow-up. I'm putting them on months and months and months old of leads, okay, doing that. So he might have to call 40, 50 leads, and he might get 2 that says, you know what, the situation has changed, and then we're back in play to pick that up. And it's all about positioning. This whole business, if you've got anything from me, I always say position, how you position, the way you phrase things, all about positioning, okay? And you can get anyone to do anything in your business with the right positioning. So who is LJ? He needs to position himself in the correct way to then be able to get the conversation. Go, oh yeah, I remember Gavin, but and then we link that together, and then that rapport is there to obviously move forward, okay? So that would be one way that you could do it. So back to getting too many leads. We have all these leads, we can't keep up with follow-up, we could hire a VA to do that. Also, you could actually start scattering out accordingly your follow-up. So now you're seasoned, now you have been in this, you've built habits, you understand what people are saying, you're understanding when you follow up the trends that are happening, then you can start scattering them out a little further, but it needs to be calculated. So what I mean by that is, let's say I speak to David at 123 Main Street, and David says, look, I'm not selling this thing for less than 120,000. That's the end of it. I'm not renting it, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that. And he's very to the point, he's stern, and he's like, he's kind of over it. Then maybe for him, I might say, all right, we're not going to call him in 30 days. He's not even trying to sell his property. It's not active. It's not any of these things, and he doesn't even want to sell it, and he wants way too much because we want to offer him 70,000, and he doesn't want to do a lease option. He doesn't want to do an owner finance. He's just basically being miserable. He doesn't want to do anything. So for him, I would probably do a 60, 90-day follow-up. So I'd probably go 3 months on that. So I say, you know what, not 30 days, I'm going to do 90 days, and then we'll put that in to then send him a text, give him a call, send him a text in 30 days. That would be a perfect follow-up for a VA. See if the situation has changed from the notes, and again, getting us back in play. So what I'm saying is that you start off every 30 days. When you get too many leads, after months and months and months, you can start looking at automation when you're ready. You can start doing automation for only cold leads. And, you know, that's where you could do 15-day texts, a 30-day text, a 45-day text. I mean, there's so many variables. Again, we could be here all day discussing this. You have to look at it, you know, for each market. To position this obviously accordingly. But so you've got your 30 days, you've got too many leads, we're then going to stagger it out accordingly from, again, warm to hot, different league. They need to be more urgent. Any warm lead should probably be weekly minimum, unless you have a clear direction that, hey, I'm coming back in town, let's meet at the property in 10 days. I would probably call them in 6 days to say, hey Mary, we're still meeting at the property on this date, right? So I'm still doing them check-in points, which is really, really important. Okay, then so your warm and hot manually can be done by you, your team, your VA, keeping on top of them. I really prefer you or the acquisition to be doing that role for hot and warm. One thing I will tell you as well, which is really important, if you are on the phone, or if your acquisition is whoever's doing it, make sure they have a whiteboard. This is really important. Even though we can run a good CRM, okay, get a whiteboard, because it's going to change everything. The reason being is that what we have in our whiteboard, we can use for organization, we can use for motivation. So what we do is we have column 1, we could have pending contracts. Column 2, we could have under contract. And column 3, we can have in closing. So the idea is that we're going from column 1 to 2 to 3 through this process, and when they look at the eyeballs on the board in front of you, you never miss a lead. We talk about no lead left behind in follow-up. That's why you need a CRM. That's why you do need VAs and automation to help you as you grow and you get loads and loads of leads, okay? Because the more leads, the older the leads, the more opportunity will come over time. That's what I believe. That's what I see in my business. But with this whiteboard, you do not want to miss them hot leads and warm leads, right? So if you've got a contract pending, it needs to be in front of you, and you've got to get that into column 2, from column 2 to column 3, so under contract into close, and you visually see it every single day. And guess what happens when you get, hold on, we got 10 contracts pending, we got 4 contracts in, we got 2 in closing. What's that going to do for you? What's that going to do for your acquisition? It's going to motivate you like crazy. Massive motivation, I'm telling you. Because all you want to do is fill that third column up and get everything into closing or into dispo, whatever that you're doing, and it's super powerful, right? Even though the CRM is doing it, but the CRM is not keeping it in front of you. That is the key. Get it? The CRM is the hub. The information stays there. The information needs to be updated there, but get it out onto the wall, onto the whiteboard, so it's a visual, because, again, motivation and the things that we've just talked about, all right? So that's what I would do then. Back to more advanced stuff. You can even, depending on where you're at in your business, you can send, you know, letters and postcards to your offers and checking back in with them that way. A little more work, a little more costly. But the way that I work everything in, when you talk about cost, it's just like making an offer. You know, well, I've got to pay 90 cents or $1. Let's just say $1 for each offer that I make. Well, break that down. If you're going to make 3 offers a day, okay, that's 15 offers a week. That's $15 to make an offer, right? That's $60 a month to make your offers in the physical mail. If you do that, 60 times 10 times 12, whatever, it's not a lot. You only need one deal to come in, guys. One deal to call you back and accept your offer, then it's worth every penny. So this is the same as your follow-up. As they get older in the CRM, you could do it even 30 days if you want, right? But don't want to overwhelm you and say that's that's what you should do. We don't do that, but it is very, very effective, where you can actually mail like, hey, we sent you an offer, we've not heard from you. If you're still interested, give us a call. We're still looking to buy. Whatever it is that you want to do, again, to re-engage, you could do that. And just as long as you're tracking your KPIs to make sure that it's worthwhile. Okay. So hopefully that helps. So let's just do a quick recap of what I just said for everyone. Is that if it's a new market and you've got not that many leads and you're building the business, I would do every 30 days. Okay, manual process, and I would do to create the habit. First call, didn't answer, send a text straight followed by an email. Try again the next day if you didn't get them. Okay, then we have, okay, now we're advanced, we've created habits, we understand, we've been doing it, we're in the groove. If you now want to introduce a VA, okay, and some automation to your cold follow-up so the CRM will do it for you, then now is probably the time, because you understand what you're doing and how the system is working. It's now time to implement that. So the VA can help rewarm leads up and bringing them back into play for you. You can use the system to be just doing multiple touches for you, still keeping the hot and warm leads on manual where someone is physically calling and texting. Everything then is customized for each seller, keeping that rapport building to get deals closed. Okay, once you then advance, you get too many leads, obviously the VA, the automation, but then you can start staggering it past 30 days as well. I'd probably go 90 days max. We only normally do 6 months if something's gone really bad and we want the seller, as we say, to forget about us, right? So if something has not worked, someone has got upset, then we might say, look, just call these in 6 months and check back in. 6 months, probably forgot, they're over it, and so I hope that helps, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. I hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving. And yeah, let me know if you need anything. Drop me a comment. Remember, if you need help with systems right now, we've got a little special going. ineedsystems.com. Check it out. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.